So for the past year, my husband and I have been nomads. We actually embarked a year ago on our RV journey to full-time RV, and our plans kind of changed. Because of the pandemic and because of the fact that we ran out of money and options, we decided to come back and stay with our parents. So for the beginning of the year, we were living in North Carolina with my parents-in-law, and now we're back in the DMV, living with my mom again. And so we had spent a lot of time painting and creating a space in our RV for our creative endeavors. And so now that we're back inside, it was imperative that I find a creative space to be able to perform and practice, but also to be able to work. I knew that I needed two spaces. I needed one space with just a desk, a computer, no distractions, fresh air, sunlight, and thank God I have really good windows in my bedroom. But I also wanted to prepare a space for me to perform and practice. So I'm a musician, and I'm trying to get, the practice in and things like that. But if I don't have a dedicated space, it's easier for me to self-sabotage and not commit to actually doing the practice and doing the work. So I knew that the first thing in this challenge, the first thing I needed to do was to create a space for me to work. A space dedicated where I don't have to set up anything, because if I think about setting up something, I'm not gonna wanna do it, and then, a whole week goes by and I haven't done anything, I haven't practiced. So we spent time as soon as we came back to clean up the space, to throw away things we didn't need, and to find the ideal space for creating and also working. Being a nomad has taught us to work with very limited space. It has taught us to use what we have, and to make the ideal situation in a situation that's not so ideal. So right now, while we're still searching for our own home, we're still searching for work, we thought that it would be best for us to still work while we're in the season of waiting. So right here, you're at my desk, and this is the place that I work. This is the place where I do podcasts. This is the place where I edit videos, where I record videos. But I also needed a space downstairs in the basement where I could practice and perform. Now I chose the basement for one of two reasons. Number one, so my husband is actually a voice actor, and so I don't want to make music that's going to be picking up on his microphone, because then it would conflict. And then I also don't want to be heard. And that's just a personal thing. I get really nervous when I'm practicing. It's different when people see the finished product, the finished polished thing, versus the practice. The practice is not so pretty, it's not so fun, it's not so nice. But I knew that I had to really put in the work. And so the only place that I could really do it where I'm not going to bother anybody or anyone can hear me was in the basement. In the basement, no one really goes down there. It's an unfinished basement. So whatever I set up is not going to be in anybody's way. So that was the second reason why I put it down there. I'm going to take you on the process of me and my husband, actually. Shout out to him, because he did most of the work. He did most of the setting up. I'm setting up of my creative space. All right, today we're making a creative space. And it's really for me. And my husband is helping me build it. Where are you at? Hi. Yay. So the reason I wanted to do this was, I guess, for a few reasons. The first is that if the space is already created, then I don't have an excuse to not create. So today the task was to create a space where I can make music, where I can do loop pedals and covers and stuff, but also do podcasts and all this other stuff. So upstairs I created a space to create, and then down here I'm creating, in the basement, creating a space to make music. And so I hope to have lives and stuff like that, and just practice. And the reason why I chose to have it down here is because in the basement, no one can really hear me. And well, I don't know if that's true, but maybe they won't be able to hear me as well. What do you think?
What was the question?
Well, I said maybe it's true. I said the reason why I wanted to have it down here is because maybe they can't hear me upstairs.
Probably will be able to hear you.
Mm.
But I mean, you don't have anything to be ashamed of. Because I mean, you're next to the vents and stuff like that, so it might go around.
Mm.
But again, there's nothing for you. You gotta be comfortable with your voice and performing and stuff.
But that's the thing. I am. It's not that I don't like my voice. It's just I don't want anybody to hear me practicing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You have to become comfortable with that.
Yeah. Well, that's what the space is supposed to do. Straddle space, and it's in front of the sunlight. Because in the basements don't really get a lot of sunlight. So I don't know. But then we also have just regular lights. So that's good. So what we're going to do to construct this is use the backdrop that I use for photo shoots and stuff. for photo shoots, and then have a little space. I bought a what do you call it? A rug. I bought like a whiteboard, and I'll show you why I'll be using that later. But I just wanted to make the space feel comfy and cozy and pretty, and like someplace I can show up every day without an excuse like, well, I don't like how it looks, or you know, I don't really have any space to create. And that excuse is out the window. So luckily, my mother works upstairs, so there's gonna be 2 floors between us. So hopefully, I won't be disturbing her while she's working. And yeah.
I understand, I get it, but like, you have to be comfortable in your art and your craft to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if we don't necessarily have the space right now.
Yeah.
For you to more or less hide.
Yeah. I don't want to say hide like it's I guess it is hiding. No, because before I started recording, I was talking about how, you know, when Jamal would go to work and I would be back at the house and at the condo, and I'd be playing around, and nobody would have to hear me struggling or like, you know, trying to find the perfect note or whatever, like all the flaws. The only thing people hear is like the finished product. And so now if I'm singing and stuff like that, people are going to be able to hear me making mistakes and making music and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, just like if you were practicing an instrument or something like that.
That's true. Like the oboe.
Sure.
I don't know.
Pick that instrument. That's
sure.
fine.
And like when you practice, when you're, you know, if you're practicing stuff, you know, when the classic scene, the kid gets the instrument, and then they're practicing it, and they're hitting all the sharp notes and flat notes and stuff. And eventually, though, they become really good at it. Yeah. So I'm hoping that's what happens here.
Well, you already passed that place, so.
Oh, baby.
And I mean, I get it. You're the artist, so you're hardest critic. But you sound good. Like, you don't. I know we had this back and forth argument about like stop downplaying yourself. Like,
Yeah.
But you really need to stop, like, because no, I mean, because it's hindering yourself too.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
You continue to go, well, I can't do it.
Is that how I sound?
Yeah, like because you've already you just recently released an album earlier this year.
Yeah.
That has been recognized over and over and over again. People keep
baby.
supporting it and loving it. You've performed on large stages. Like, you've done all the stuff that other people who haven't. So you need to keep going, and so that fear or whatever to shut up. Because you've done all the things. You've been practicing. You've been practicing, improving. You've been in choirs. You've been doing all this stuff. Like, you gotta catch up to what your actual performance is, which is great.
Thank you, baby. But I guess just like using like the loop pedal and stuff, I'm still learning it. Like, it's still, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still on a learning curve.
Yeah. But what you're afraid of is being heard. That's what I'm saying. Like, you sound good.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks, baby. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
All right, so far we have the backdrop up and the rug. And Jamal wants to go get some gaff tape so I can put down on the corners and hold it down. So here will be like the space. I'll be barefoot on my nice, colorful, comfy rug. Gonna get a stool and put the loop pedal and the speaker here. See? All right, you brought the goods, my loop pedal and speaker. Shout out to my husband. Ay. For setting this up. All right, so this is the final setup, you guys. The mic here, the loop pedal down here. I have the speaker here, and then I'll have to get an extension cord to plug both those up. But essentially, this is gonna be my performance space and practice space.
Yay.
So
Yay.
Thank you, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do this because I was tired. And I like my rug. It's plush and colorful. So yes. Challenge finished. So week 1 challenge is finished, it's complete. We found a space to work, we found a space to hopefully be able to host lives, put on shows. I want to try a lot of things in that space, so I'm really excited. And I guess I'll take you guys along on that journey and what it's gonna be like. So yay! So this is, I guess, week 2 of the creative challenge, and that was to create a creative space, so that all the other challenges that come, I'll have space and opportunity and a dedicated space to really work on those things. I really think it's important to cultivate a space where you feel comfortable, where you feel inspired. I know, like I said before, natural light inspires me. It makes me feel free, fresh air, hearing the birds, like the wind, stuff like that really makes me feel good. So setting up a space near nature was really important to me. And thank God my mother lives like in front of a tree, so that, you know, I can see the birds playing. I can still hear cars going by, which sometimes can get annoying. But other than that, it's really nice, it's really quiet, and just decide what you need, what you can do in the space that you can do it with. I actually bought a rug from Walmart. The rug was only, like $3 something. And I just wanted something colorful, something to make me feel good. I bought a stool. The stool I already had, but I got the stool from Target. And it's just somewhere to rest. I put up a mic stand already, so I don't have to like move stuff around. But I knew that color is something that I wanted. And so something I also want to add to the space is like a candle or something kind of like it makes you calm, you know, and maybe even some flowers, who knows. But the point is, no matter how big or small your space is to create that space, create that sanctuary, create that safe space where you can create freely and you can feel good about it and while you're doing it. So yeah, so that was week 2, and until week 3, talk to you later.